Hello everybody, Chris Linton here once again from BodyBasics with another installment of Basic Moves by BodyBasics. In today's episode, we're going to talk about two key areas. The first will be your trunk. Some people think of it as core. And the second is going to be actually your backside. And I'm going to show you how you can address these two areas with two simple exercises that travel with you wherever you go because they simply involve you, your own body weight. So this first exercise is going to have me lying on my back, which I'll do in a second, and we're going to be talking about pelvic position and how that relates to safety, specifically to your lower back, your spine. And then the second one is going to carry forward from that. So I'm going to lie down here. And you remember last time we kind of talked about diaphragmatic breathing. If you didn't check out that episode, please do so. And we talked about breathing in through the nose on the inhale and breathing out through pursed lips on the exhale. We're going to carry that forward into both of these exercises today. The other thing I'm going to show you today that I didn't really touch on last time is pelvic position. So notice how I'm rocking my pelvis back and forth. If I go excessively this way, you can see I'm putting a lot of arch in the lower back. If we're doing any kind of exercises for this area in this position, it's going to create a lot of stress to your lower back. So what you want to learn how to do is find your hip bones here and learn how to rock them toward your ribs. You see how I did that right there? So you want that slight curve in that lower back, but not so much that you could drive your hands all the way through. Just hands into either side, and that's perfect. You'll also recognize it by this smoothness here versus here. If your ribs are pointing upward, no good. If they're tucking too far downward, that's also no good. So that's another way you can kind of coordinate this, is to find that level surface. So once you have that, we're going to get into the first exercise, and that is going to be an exercise for your trunk. Very simply, all you're going to do is bring up one leg to start while keeping this level without changing that curve in the lower back as a product of this. And then I'm going to rest my head and I'm going to simply get my diaphragm working. So I'm going to inhale through the nose and strong exhale through the pursed lips of my mouth. And simply by holding this position stable, I'm engaging my trunk in a manner that's going to support better posture, overall alignment, reduce stress to the lower back. From there, we can actually add a movement. So I can inhale, and as I exhale, I can move my leg. I can hold that position as I inhale once again, and then I can exhale as I bring it back. And then I can continue to build more and more degrees of challenge by adding both legs, holding first isometrically, keeping that control, and then ultimately getting into movements. And so on. I could even put my arms into it, add another degree of challenge. But you get the idea. With that, I would highly encourage you to set time instead of counting a number of reps. I find that when we teach our clients how to set their focus on time, they're able to really consider what's going on within them instead of thinking about a number. So you become much more internal and much more focused on what you're doing. So somewhere between 1 to 3 minutes is a great base for something like that. The second exercise that I want to show you today is a bridge. So we're going to establish our same starting position as we did for the abdominal exercise. This time though, we're going to lift upward. And as we're doing so, our focus is on the buttocks and the back of the legs. If you feel a lot of tension up here, most likely you're pushing rather than pulling.
So focus on that pulling action rather than a pushing action as you're lifting your buttocks up, and then control it back down. Now I'm going to get into a little bit of detail on this one as well for you. So we want to set that position. I'm going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, purse lips. Focus on pulling using the buttocks and the hamstrings. I'm going to hold that position, and then I'm going to exhale as I lower, keeping this control. I don't want to let go prematurely like that. So I want to keep this control and lower slowly. Okay? So
those are your 2 exercises I'd love for you to be practicing in the next month. We're going into the holidays. I know there's lots of stress, there's lots of time constraints and so on, so I want you to have those 2 simple things. If you're putting 1 to 3 minutes of effort into each one of those, you're looking at a max of 6 minutes. Do that about every other day and you'll be great to go. See you next month.